A very warm welcome to all the students for today's lecture. Today we are going to see equivalence of finite automata and regular expressions. Okay. Now we have already seen. Now whenever we talk about equivalence of finite automata and regular expression, it simply means if I have a regular expression, I should be able to draw an equivalent finite automata. Now this we have already done many times in unit 1. Okay, from a given regular expression, many times we are able to convert the regular expression to finite automata. Okay, or given a language, regular language, we are able to construct a finite automata. Given a regular expression, construct a finite automata. So this we have already handled in unit 1. Now in this lecture we are going to see the reverse version of it. That means if there is a finite automata that is given to us, okay, how to convert the finite automata to an equivalent regular expression. So in the current lecture, okay, this in unit 2, okay, we are going to see. Okay. Now, conversion of finite automata into an equivalent regular expression in ALC can be done in many ways. There are three important ways that I am discussing. The first one is called as Arden's theorem. Arden's theorem is a recursive theorem. We shall see that today. Okay. Second, using a method called as method of elimination of states. This is just another way of how to convert a given automata into regular expression. And third alternative is using Kleen's theorem. So this Kleen's theorem, okay, part B of Kleen's theorem, okay, it comes up with a formula. We derive a formula just to prove in part B that if there is a regular expression, in part B what we do is we prove that if there is a automata, then there is an equivalent regular expression. So for that, as we go through the Kleen's theorem, okay, Kleen's theorem derives a formula, and using that formula we are able to convert a given finite automata into regular expression. Okay, since this Kleen's theorem in the current syllabus, Kleen's theorem as such is not mentioned, we are not going to see the theorem, although on my notes I have both part A and part B of Kleen's theorem written. You may just read the Kleen's theorem. But what is more important in part 2 is the formula that we obtain in that proof. So we can then use that formula to convert a given automata into the regular expression. For example, if they have not mentioned a particular method to convert a given finite automata into regular expression, if the method is not mentioned, what you can do is you can use any of these methods. You can see which one is easier for you and you can implement any one of these methods. For today's discussion, however, we are going to see the first method, that's called as Arden's theorem. Now Arden's theorem, it's a very plain theorem. It says let P and Q be two regular expressions. So let P and Q be two regular expressions. And let's assume that P does not contain null. Regular expression P, it does not contain null. Further, it says let R be an unknown regular expression. Okay, so we have three regular expressions, P, Q and R. P should not be null. R is a new unknown regular expression. So the end result will be stored in R. Then the equation R equal to Q plus RP, the equation R equal to Q plus RP has a unique solution, and that solution is R equal to QP star. Okay, it simply means that if P happens to be a regular expression which is not null, Q is some valid regular expression, it can be null, okay, and R is an unknown regular expression, so the end result is going to be stored in R. Then if you are able to get an equation of this type, R equal to Q plus RP, please note that R occurs on the left hand side as well as on the right hand side of the term RP. Okay, So if you have this kind of equation, then this has a unique solution. So this can be reduced and it can be rewritten as R equal to QP star. Okay. Now, although you don't have proof, but let us quickly see a simple proof. Okay. Many ways you can prove it. So, okay. So we have R equal to Q plus R P. Okay. So what we'll do? We'll substitute this. Okay. R. So I will just call this as equation 1. We'll substitute R equal to QP star in equation 1. So then equation 1 becomes R, okay, R equal to Q plus, wherever R occurs on the right hand side, replace that R with QP star. So R will be replaced with QP star. Okay, so this is that R and followed with a P. Okay. Now how can we write this further? This can be further written as, now notice that there are common terms. Q is a common term, so this can be written as R equal to, you can take this Q out. So what remains inside? Now remember, in regular expression, whenever Q is removed, what remains inside will be null. Regular expression called it null. Null plus P star P. Okay. Now this can be further written as Q into. Okay. Now what is P star? P star means sub expression P or expression P can be repeated either 0 times or infinite number of times. Okay. So when I say P star, it simply means P raised to 0. Okay. It starts with 0, then P raised to 0, P raised to 1, and so on till P raised to infinity. Okay. So when you have one more extra P, okay, P star or P, that one extra P also can be included in P star. Okay. What is P star? P star simply means P can be repeated 0 times or more times. How many more times? Infinite number of times. Now suppose infinity plus 1 number of times, there is another P, repetition of P, one more number of times, there is the extra P. So then P star and P, it would be what? Roughly mathematics tells you that suppose A raised to I is there and B raised to, say A raised to I is there, B raised to J is there, suppose it is A raised to I and A raised to J, okay. Suppose in mathematics you have A raised to I, A raised to J, this can be written as A raised to I plus J, correct? So now in this case it is P raised to star and P raised to 1. So this can be written as P raised to star plus 1 or star 1, right? Now star means 0 or infinity. So infinity plus 1 will be also infinity, right? So this whole thing can be just written as star only. That's the meaning of it. So this can be written as null or P star. Yes? And then, so R can be written as Q in bracket null or P star. Now, the definition of P star, it simply tells you that P may be repeated 0 number of times or infinite number of times. Now, what happens when P is repeated 0 number of times? Are you not getting null over here? Yes. And is there a need of this extra null? Anyways, null string you are going to get in this particular expression. Anyways, null string you are going to get in this particular expression. So, is one extra null required here? No. Because null string can be derived from this only. So, this is not required. So, this can be written as Q into, this whole thing will become P star. Okay. Actually, the proof is not asked, but just for your curiosity, I have done this proof. Okay. You need to only remember the formula that, okay, if the regular expression at any point of time, if it is of type R equal to Q plus RP, where R and R is repeating, then you can write this term okay, as R equal to Q P star. Remember only this is a formula. Let us solve a problem. Now this is a DFA that is given to us, and we are supposed to convert this DFA to a regular expression using the Arden's theorem. Now whenever we work with Arden's theorem, we work with equations. Okay, how many equations? The number of equations equal to the number of nodes or states. Okay, now in the current example that is given, Q1, Q2 and Q3, these are the only three states. Okay, so the number of equations will be 3. Okay, now how to design an equation? Let's start. Okay, Q1 is the first state, and notice that Q1 is also the initial state. Okay, so how will we design the equation? Now these equations will have terms. Now how are you going to frame the terms, okay, of Q1? So Q1 is the state. Now you see what are the in links which are coming to Q1. Okay, what are the different in links that are coming to Q1? So from Q1, on reading 0 you come to Q1. So this is one in link. Okay, this is one in link. Second, from Q3 on reading 0 also you go to Q1. So there are two in links. The links that are coming towards Q1, there are two. One is through Q1 itself, and the second one is through Q3, right? So the first term that I am going to write, okay, will be since one link is coming from Q3 to Q1, the first term here I am going to write Q3, right? Now Q3 on reading what will take you to Q1? So from Q3 on reading 0 it is going to take you to Q1. So the first term over here will be Q3 0. That means how do you reach Q1? You reach Q1 by from state Q3 on reading 0. This is a term, and the meaning of the term is how do you reach Q1? From state Q3, when you read 0 you come to Q1 state. So this is one way of reaching Q1. Or means in regular expression or is written as plus. Now what is the second way of coming to Q1? So from Q1 on the reading 0 also you go to Q1. So the second term over here will be from state Q1 on the reading 0, okay, you come to Q1. And notice that I haven't told you, but for the initial state there is also one arrow over here. This arrow for initial state, okay, it depicts null input. So when null is read as input, you are in Q1 state. So we have forgotten to consider this. So either Q3 0 can take you to Q1, or from state Q1 on reading 0 you go to Q1, or just by reading null string also you reach Q1. Always remember that whenever you are going to write equations in this Arden's theorem, only for initial state which has one extra arrow depicting null input, okay, so only for the equation representing the initial state there will be one extra input, that is null. There will be one extra term that is called as null always, and for other states this null term won't be there. Fine. So I will just call this as equation 1. Very simple. Now let's start with equation 2. Q2. Why Q2? Because Q2 is another state. Now again when you see the inlinks of Q2 has now two inlinks, three inlinks in fact. See Q2 from Q2, okay, on reading 1 you go to Q2, this is one inlink. Second, from Q1 on reading 1 you come to Q2, okay, and from Q3 on reading 1 you go to Q2. So state Q2 has three inlinks, that is from state Q1 on reading 1 you go to Q2. From state Q2 itself on reading 1 you go to Q2, and from state Q3 on reading 1 you go to Q2. So there are three terms that should appear, right? So I will write down. The first term is what? How do you reach Q2? Q2 can be reached from Q1 on reading 1 you go to Q2. So I will write here, from state Q1 on reading 1 you go to Q2. Or what is the second term? Second possibility. Okay, now from state Q2 itself on reading 1 you go to Q2. So how do you reach Q2? From state Q2 itself on reading 1 you go to Q2. Or what is the third possibility? From state Q3 on reading 1 you go to Q2. So from state Q3 on reading 1 you go to Q2. So this is second equation. Similarly, third equation, that is equation for Q3, can be now written as, how many inlinks are there for Q3? There is only one inlink, that is from Q2 on reading 0 you go to Q3. This is only one way of reaching Q3. So I will write the same thing, from Q2 on reading 0 you go to Q3. This is the only one way. So these are the three equations that I get looking at the diagram. Okay. Now what we need to do is, your final answer always in Arden's theorem, your final answer will be always present in Q1. Your final answer will get in equation Q1 always, because Q1 is the initial state. Okay. Now just see what are the different terms which are there in Q1. You have term called as Q3, you have term called as Q1. Okay. So as part of the first thing, I am going to first substitute Q3 in Q2. So substitute, okay, Q3, okay, in equation 2. So when you substitute Q3, so wherever Q3 occurs in equation 2, that Q3 will be replaced with Q2 0. So Q2 can be then written as Q2 equal to Q1 1, this will not change, plus Q2 1 plus, now wherever Q3 occurs here, Q3 will be replaced with Q2 0. So I am going to write Q2 0 here, Q2 0, and then this 1 which is remaining will be written here. So Q2 0 and 1. So this is, I will just call this as equation 4, and notice that this is the new value of Q2. Okay, this equation 4 is a new value, or it's a new updation to equation Q2. Okay. Now further, my aim is what? Always I need to find out whether I get a term of this type, R equal to Q plus RP, where R is repeated, so that this can be then written as QP star. Okay, Q2 equal to Q1 1 plus, you remove Q2 out, so what you get inside is 1 plus 0 1. Now is this of the type R equal to Q plus RP? Let's check. If this is R, I can consider this as Q, this is again R, and this whole term becomes P. So we have already seen, if the equation is of type R equal to Q plus RP, this can be converted into R equal to QP star. So Q2 can be then written as, okay, Q2 can be then written as Q, that is Q1 1, and P star. Now what is my P? It is 1 plus 0 1, the whole star. So I will just call this as equation 5, and notice that this is a new value of Q2. Okay, this is a new value of Q2. Now basically, as I have already told you, the initial state Q1 over here is also the final state. So the final regular expression you are going to get in Q1, in the equation Q1, because Q1 is final state. Okay. Now in the so far what we have done is we have substituted Q3 in Q2. Okay. Now we have to substitute Q3, okay, in Q1, because your final term, final regular expression will be present in Q1. Okay. So I'll just write substitute the value of Q3 in Q1. What is Q1? Q1 is equation 1. Okay, now consider Q3. Consider Q3. What is the new value of Q3? Now Q3 was Q2. Q3 term was Q3 equal to Q2O. Okay, so now that Q2 has been changed, okay, what is Q3 now? Q3 will be, the new value of Q3 will be star. Okay, so this whole thing is new value of Q2. So what is Q3? Q3 is Q2 and 0 followed with 0. Okay, by substituting okay, new Q2 in Q3. So by substituting the new value of Q2 in Q3, we get this Q3, and as I have told you, now we have to substitute Q3 in 1. Now Q3 can be substituted in equation 1, that is Q1. So Q1 now becomes, what is Q1? Q1 now becomes Q3O. And what is Q3? Q3 is this whole term. Okay, so Q1 is Q1 1 plus 0 1 the whole star 0. So this whole thing will be Q3. Okay, so it is Q3 0. So I will append a 0 here, plus Q1 0 plus null, plus Q1 0 plus null. So this is the new value of Q1. I will just call it as equation 6. The final answer should be present in this equation 1. Okay, now further what we need to do is we need to see whether this equation that we have got, okay, is this 6 is of the type R equal to Q plus RP. Okay, now you can remove this, this and this Q1, which is a common term, you can remove. So I can rearrange Q1 equation like this: Q1 equal to null plus Q1 1 plus 0 1 the whole star ending with 0 0. Okay, I'm sorry, whole star ending with 0 0. Okay, plus Q1 0. And now that this Q1 is common, I can remove Q1 out. So what I get? Null plus Q1 in bracket 1 in bracket 1 plus 0 1 the whole star 0 0 plus 0. Okay, so now if you carefully look at this equation, the equation is almost of the type R equal to Q plus RP, where if this is R, this is Q, this is R, and this whole term is P. So if the equation is of the type R equal to Q plus RP, this can be written as R equal to QP star. So this can be written as Q1 finally can be written as Q. What is Q? Null. And what is P? P will be the whole term over here. So that will be 1 plus 1 into 1 plus 0 1 star ending with 0 0 plus 0. So this is P and the whole star. Okay, so Q1 equal to QP star, where Q is null and P is this whole term raised to star. Now it is very easy to understand that since null is over here, okay, the final regular expression that we get in Q1 will be 1 into 1 plus 0 1 star 0 0 plus 0 star. Therefore, the required regular expression is 1 1 plus 0 1 star 0 0 plus 0 the whole star. So this is how, using Arden's theorem, any given finite automata can be converted into a regular expression. Welcome back. In this example number 2, I have taken a DFA, okay, which has how many states? 5 states. So since there are number of states will be 5, so number of equations also will be 5. Then in the previous example, okay, notice that in the previous example the initial state Q1 was also the final state, and that's why we said that the final answer you will get in equation Q1. Why? Because Q1 was initial state as well as the final state. However, in this particular example, the final state is Q3, and as a result, you are going to get the final answer in the equation Q3 and not in equation Q1. Okay, so without wasting time, let us start. Ultimately, what we are trying to do in Arden's theorem is, if an equation is of type R equal to Q plus RP, we are trying to replace it with QP star. We are going to do this. Now let's see which are the 5 equations that we get. First, Q1. Now, what are the different inlinks to Q1? You observe that there is no inlink coming from any other node back to Q1 except the null link over here. And as a result, the equation becomes Q1 equal to null. Only one. For Q2, let's analyze the inlinks of Q2. Now Q2 receives an inlink from Q1 on reading A. Q2 also receives inlink from Q1 on reading B. So from by reading A as well as B from Q1 to Q2. This is the only inlink that is there for Q2, and there are no other inlinks for Q2. Right? So as a result, you will get 2 terms in this equation. First one will be Q1 A, which means from state Q1 on reading A I will go to Q2, or second possible way is from state Q1 on reading B also I reach to Q2. So that's equation 2. For Q3, notice that the final answer you are going to get in Q3. Now Q3 also, there are 2 inlinks here. One, from Q2, from state Q2 on reading A you go to Q3. Okay, so Q3 equal to first term will be from state Q2 on reading A you go to Q3, or the second possibility is from Q4 on reading A you go to Q3. So, or Q4A. So this is equation number 3. Next, for Q4, equation Q4. Now again for Q4 there are 2 inlinks. One, from Q3 on reading A you go to Q4, from Q3 on reading B also you go to Q4. Apart from these 2 there are no more inlinks. So Q4 can be written as Q3A or Q3B, and this will be equation 4. Q5, that's the last equation. You see that from Q2 on reading B you go to Q5, and then from Q4 on reading B also you go to Q5. Apart from this there are no more terms, so the 2 terms for Q5 equation will be Q2B or Q4B. So this is the 5th equation that we get. Okay, so now once we get all these 5 equations, Let's see. Now your final answer is going to be obtained in Q3, as I told you, because Q3 is the final step. So now, okay, when we consider Q3 is what? Q3 is Q2A plus Q4A. Look at the terms that are present in Q3. One is Q2 and the second is Q4. Okay, so now first thing what we'll try to do is we are going to see whether Q2 can be replaced with some expression or not. Okay, so first consider Q2. Okay, so what we do, we consider Q2, which is nothing but Q1A plus Q1B. Okay, so Q2 itself is nothing but Q1A, Q1B. So you will get an expression for Q2 only if somehow Q1 can be replaced with something. Okay, so what we can do is, when you consider equation number 1, Q1 gives none. So if I substitute equation number 1, okay, in equation number 3, that is for Q3, what we get? Okay, substituting equation 1, okay, Q2 becomes, okay, Q2 becomes, so wherever Q1 is there, replace it with none. So Q2 will be equal to A or B. So I will call this as equation, okay, this will be called as equation 6. So I will call this as equation 7. So notice that this is new Q2. Equation 7 is new Q2. So whenever there is a question of replacement of Q2, we are no longer going to consider this Q2, but we are going to consider this Q2. Okay. Now we have found the value of Q2. No? So what is required is this Q2 you have to now replace here, right? Because ultimately that is what we were trying to do. We were trying to replace this Q2 with some term, and now we have obtained the term. So I say substitute equation 7 in equation 6. What we get is Q3 equal to, so wherever Q2 occurs, it will be A plus B. Okay, A plus B. A, so it is Q2A, so A plus B A plus Q4A. Okay, and I will call this as equation 8. Now what we have done is, your final answer should be in Q3. We have already replaced this Q2 with some expression. Now what is remaining is this Q4 term. So let's try to see whether Q4 can get some value. Okay, okay, so let's consider Q4 now. Now Q4 originally is what? It is Q3A plus Q3B. Q4 originally is what? Q3A, Q3B. Now this Q3, if you see, this Q3 is a common term, correct? So Q4 can be further written as, if you remove this common term out, it is Q3 A plus B. Okay, so I will call this as equation 9 now. What we are trying to do is, we are trying to get the value of Q4. Okay, now next, when you consider this term again, my aim was to replace the Q2 and Q4 over here with some term, and we have now got the term for Q4. So let us replace equation 9 in equation 8, because ultimately this equation 8 is going to give me the result. Okay, so substituting equation 9 in equation 8, we get Q3 equal to A plus B followed with A plus, now wherever Q4 occurs, I will be replacing Q4 with this term. So the term is Q3 A plus B So your Q4 has been successfully replaced with the new value of Q4, that is Q3 A plus B. What remains is this A. So I will just append that A here. Okay. So next we are going to see whether it is of the type R equal to Q plus R P. It is indeed of the form R equal to Q plus RP, which can be written as Q P star. So that's why your Q3 finally becomes Q3 equal to Q, that is A plus B, this is Q, and P star. So P star will have A plus B A, this is a term P whole star. Okay, so since in Q3, now when do you stop? Okay, how to find out when do you stop? I just told you that your final answer you are going to get in equation Q3, because Q3 was a final state. So in equation Q3, if you are able to reach a state wherein there appears no states, for example in this Q3 you have all alphabet symbols, that is A and B, and there is no Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, there is no state present in this equation. Once you reach that particular stage, you should know that you have got the answer, right? Suppose there was another state somewhere here present, say some Q2 or something, then you would have continued further, then processing Q2 further. But whenever you reach a state when there are no equation terms appearing in this particular regular expression, and only the alphabet symbols from the alphabet are present, in that time you should understand that I should stop. So therefore I can say therefore the required regular expression is A plus B, A plus B, A star. Okay, also notice that we don't have to solve for Q5. Okay, we don't have to solve for Q5 because the term Q5 actually does not appear here, and getting this answer Q5, it is not dependent on Q5, so this Q5 will remain untouched. So this is a way how you can get the regular expression given a finite automata using the method called as Arden's theorem. So having studied Arden's theorem, okay, in the next lecture we are going to see the principle of elimination of states. Thank you.